Springtime Surprise Challenge recap. I recently finished my first Run Disney challenge, and I may say it'll probably be my last. It didn't go completely as planned, and by the last run, I didn't enjoy it. So if you're thinking about doing a challenge, keep watching to learn my experience to help you decide. So I decided to complete the Run Disney Springtime Surprise Challenge, and I did it virtually. I didn't decide to run it until it was way too late. And as you know, Run Disney races sell out within hours, if not minutes, of going on sale. I didn't even know it existed until January 2023, and races were April 2023. So virtual it was. So should you do virtual or in person? As I mentioned, I didn't really have time to make the choice. But had I had enough time, would I have done it in person? This was the first challenge I did, and I signed up to hold myself accountable. If you're like me and having a race you're signed up for helps you stay on top of training, I recommend doing that. That's what I did. I was at Disney when my sister ran the Dopey Challenge over marathon weekend this past January. So I got to see the hype of doing the races in person. If you need or love the energy of the crowd and other runners, definitely go for in-person races. The energy was incredible. You just don't get that kind of high running by yourself on side streets around your neighborhood. So my springtime surprise training, I planned out my training as soon as I signed up. I had 10 weeks to train and it went well. I had complete rest days, running days, walking days, and strength days. I stretched after every workout anyway, and I added more time with my massage gun after long runs. And after long runs and intense workouts, I took a hot Epsom salt bath and had regular 90-minute massages. I was prepared for the challenge as best as I physically could be. The longest run I did in training was 8 miles, and I tapered with decrease in mileage and strength training in the 2 weeks leading up to the challenge. Okay, let's talk about the challenge. Springtime Surprise 5K, Sunday. For me, the 5K went fine. Running 3.1 miles for me is a good distance. It's not too short, it's not too long, it's my Goldilocks. It's just right. Though this race, I wasn't completely prepared mentally. Physically, I was very prepared. The 2 days leading up to the challenge, I was pretty stressed. And when I'm stressed, I do the opposite of what most people do. Many people eat everything and I eat nothing, or practically nothing. So my fueling leading up to this challenge wasn't good. The morning of the 5K, I woke up, ate my normal breakfast, which is a protein smoothie, and got out the door at 8:26 a.m. I aimed for a half-mile warm-up and went 0.88 miles instead. Whoops. It was already too hot at 63 degrees Fahrenheit with 20% humidity. My heart rate started out higher than usual, hello stress, and I chose the wrong running route. I wanted to run a route without hills, and I thought, no problem. I have lots of options around my house to change where I run and how far I run. Unfortunately, the choice I made was the wrong one. I chose a route that didn't have any drinking fountains, which means no convenient water stops. For most people, this wouldn't be an issue because it's a short run, but I always have water with me. I fill up for even short car rides to make sure I always have water. And when I run, I feel extra thirsty all the time. I used to chew gum while running to combat that thirst. My jaw didn't like that, so I switched to always having water. Not this time. So I conserved my water, and I didn't like that. After the 5K, I did a cool down walk, 0.91 miles. Overall, not a terrible 5K. Definitely not my best. My pace was 11 minutes and 3 seconds per mile. Not my fastest, not my slowest. My 5K recovery. I'm all about the running recovery, aftercare, stretching, whatever you want to call it. So when I got back from my run, I immediately made myself a snack of almonds and pistachios with some watermelon liquid IV. I got some quick protein, fats, and carbs in my body. My sugar levels used to plummet after a workout, especially a hot one, and I realized if I eat a small snack of the 3 main macronutrients and get some quick carbs, my sugar levels don't dip. While I slowly eat my snack and drink my liquid IV, I stretch. The longer the run, the longer the stretching. And it's always the same stretches. Sitting butterfly, pigeon pose, king pigeon, kneeling hip flexor stretch, kneeling hamstring stretch, calf stretch, soleus stretch, standing quad stretch, seated hamstring stretch, standing calf stretch, and standing soleus stretch. Then I pull out the massage gun. Again, the longer the run, the longer I use my massage gun. I hit all my major lower body muscles: glutes, piriformis, IT band, hip flexors, calves, hamstrings, inner thighs. I add in some quick lower back, quadratus lumborum to be specific, and some anterior shoulders, those pecs and biceps, upper traps, and any tight muscles like my forearms. Then I take a quick shower and a hot Epsom salt bath. I ate some lunch, which on this day was hummus, crackers, and vegetables, which is a normal lunch for me. I did a little work on my computer while Royal watched basketball, and we ordered pad thai for dinner. Chicken for me, shrimp for him. Finished the night with some Cadbury chocolate, sleepy time, and lavender teas right before bed. Okay, that brings us to the springtime surprise 10K, Monday. The 10K felt much better than the 5K. I woke up early and got out the door on time. The temperature was better because it was earlier than Sunday, and I did a walking warm-up of a quarter mile. Then I started in on the 10K. I made sure to choose the correct route this time. Lots of water stops, even if that meant hills. I was okay with the hills because it meant 5 parks I could stop at to fill up my water. And I usually fill up every 2 miles, so 5 stops was more than enough. Because of the hills, my average pace took a hit, but it was worth it. 12 minutes and 13 seconds per mile, and the slowest ones were the hills. The 10K was a little different than the 5K in that I do eat a banana and have some sugar every 4 miles in a run longer than 4 miles. So I ate a banana at mile 4, and on every water stop 4 miles and beyond, I added half of a liquid IV pouch. So I did that twice. The cool down walk was just under half a mile, and I got home and started the usual routine. So my 10K recovery, my recovery routine is the same no matter what kind of workout or distance I do. The only thing that changes is the amount of time I do it. I made my snack of raw nuts and seeds, liquid IV, and slowly ate while I stretched. I spent more time stretching after the 10K than I did the 5K. The stretches themselves were the same as those I did for the 5K. And I spent more time using my massage gun after the 10K than I did on the 5K. Same muscles, same areas, just longer time. Then I showered and took a hot Epsom salt bath. Again, longer time in the bath after the 10K than I did the 5K. The longer or more intense the workout, the longer the recovery time. I ate some more nuts and seeds before lunch, and for lunch I ate In-N-Out cheeseburger and fries. I had leftover chicken pad thai for dinner, more Cadbury chocolate for dessert, and finished the day with my usual sleepy time and lavender tea. That brings me to the springtime surprise 10-miler, Tuesday. The 10-miler made me nervous. I woke up and Royal told me I didn't have to run. But I had set out to do this challenge and I didn't want to let myself down. It's just not like me to not complete something. I wasn't nervous about the distance. I was just nervous. Tuesday was a busy day for us, and I had an obligation at a specific time. I don't like it when I have time commitments when I'm doing a workout. I start panicking that I'm not going to have enough time, and I get in my head, even if I've planned enough time. So originally when I planned the 10-miler, I made it so I didn't have any obligations until the afternoon. But life happens and something got added. Anyway, I started out nervous. I got out the door a few minutes late, but essentially on time. I walked a quarter mile for my warm-up, and I started running. I made an extra loop at the beginning of the run to make sure I'd get the 10 miles done without having to loop around the neighborhood at the end of the run. There's nothing worse than getting close to home and realizing you still have 2 miles to run and you have to loop. So I did the extra 2 in the beginning. By mile 3, I texted Royal and said I didn't think I'd be able to finish. I was nervous and I'd already had to make a bathroom stop, something I never do. He reminded me I could always walk, and he let me know that the morning obligation was canceled. It was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I no longer had a time constraint. And it's a good thing too, because I ended up starting the final mile 30 minutes later than I thought I'd be home. The rest of the run was overall uneventful. I ate a banana at mile 4. I had half a pouch of liquid IV every 2 miles starting at mile 4. In total, I filled my water bottle 5 times. I did have a nag in the back of my head of wanting to walk. Or when I had to pause at crosswalks, I had the idea of, well, you could just keep walking, but I didn't. I always picked back up running. By mile 8.5, my calves started feeling tight. Not cramping, just tight and uncomfortable. like they'd rather be walking. I stopped and stretched at each crosswalk, and I also stretched my quads. It helped. I pushed through. I got a text from Royal asking if I was okay at the start of mile 10 because, like I said before, I was late. It was 9:30, and I said I'd be done and home at 9. I wasn't even done running yet. But right after that, I passed a woman with 2 golden doodles, so I had to stop and comment. We chatted for 5 minutes, and she wished me luck on my 10-mile run because she thought I must just be starting. And I told her I was on the final mile. She was incredulous. She said, I looked like I had just started. I looked great. That gave me an ego boost. All right, I get home, 10-mile recovery. When I finished running, I was so glad to be done. I cooled down with just under 3/4 of a mile walk. I got home, made my raw nuts and seeds snack, liquid IV, and added some Cadbury chocolate to the mix. Today's stretching routine was the same, just longer. Almost double the amount of time I spent for the 10K stretches. The massage gun, same routine. Then I took a shower and a bath. Again, the longer the workout, the longer the recovery. For this day, I also added in a professional massage for 90 minutes with my regular massage therapist. She knew I was doing this challenge and she was ready for it. My calves were tight and sore, so I was hoping she'd be gentle on them. She wasn't. It wasn't pleasant, but it was tolerable. I stretched frequently the rest of the day and drank lots and lots of water. I had a chocolate protein shake because I wasn't going to be able to eat lunch before my massage. The protein shake was disgusting. I didn't balance out the chocolate syrup and protein powder. It was so gross. After my massage, Royal and I ran a few errands and ate an early dinner at Red Robin. I ate a Southern Charm burger, no pink, with fries and a side of barbecue sauce and water. At home, we rested while he watched basketball, and I finished the day with my sleepy time and lavender tea before bed. The days after the springtime surprise challenge. So Wednesday and Thursday, my calf muscles were really tight. I stretched frequently and continued to drink lots of water. I walked 2 miles on the treadmill Wednesday morning and used the massage gun again. Thursday is a complete rest day normally for me because of our schedule, and I didn't feel the need to stretch my calves at all. Overall, the only muscles that tightened up for me were my calf muscles, and that's because I run on my toes now. If you want to see that story, comment below and I'll write a blog about it and make a video about it. Overall thoughts on the Springtime Surprise Challenge. I think the challenge itself is a good one. For me, I have thought for years that my ideal distance running is roughly 10K, even up to 8 miles, and this confirmed it. I don't think I'll do a challenge that involves longer distances than a 10K. I think the 3 days in a row of running was fine, especially because I spend the extra time with recovery. If I didn't already know how to do that, I think the 3 days in a row would be really challenging, pun intended, and painful. I'm glad I did it. I got to experience training for 3 consecutive days of running at increasing distances. I kind of wish I did it in person, yet again, I didn't sign up in time. I think the energy from all the participants around me could have helped my mindset in the 10-miler. I think. What about you? How did the challenge go for you?